was at, and that was the primary the primary responsibility that I had at
Your
that
primary
point.
responsibility was to get everyone out. Now, what happened? Where were you when the building collapsed? When Tower 2 collapsed?
I was in front of City Hall, between City Hall and GNR Music World.
Which is about, what, 3 blocks away?
About 3 blocks away. And I'm looking up my building, number 2, in flame at the upper level. And then suddenly, I'm looking at the building collapsing like paper.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's really frightening me at that point.
Excuse me, Russ Mitchell. Please forgive me for interrupting, but apparently another building in the World Trade Center complex has just collapsed downtown. This is a live photograph of yet another building. Keep in mind that the World Trade Center complex, check me as I go here, please, sir, has 7 buildings total. Has the 2 towers, they're gone.
Yes.
Now, we reported some time ago that 2 other buildings in the World Trade Center complex were in danger of collapsing. One of those buildings has collapsed. There is an unconfirmed report that it's building 5, but we do not know that. Other sources are apparently reporting this building 5 in the complex, but we do not know that. What you are looking, these are live pictures here. We've mixed live and tape, tried to make it clear to you throughout the day what's live, what's videotape. This is live tape, and you can tell it's at least another building collapsed because the density and the amount and frankly, the altitude of the smoke has increased so dramatically in that area. Keep in mind, and we've said this before, we say it again, what you're seeing are high shots. Now, here we're going to show you a videotape of the collapse itself.
Describe that.
Now we go to videotape, the collapse of this building.
It's amazing.
Amazing, incredible, pick your word. For the 3rd time today, it's reminiscent of those pictures we've all seen too much on television before, when a building was deliberately destroyed by well-placed dynamite to knock it down. And so therefore this smoke that we were talking about, and keep in mind there are firemen, policemen, other workers down there working, searching for people in the previously collapsed World Trade Center 2 towers. Fates unknown. This is an incredible situation. This has never happened before in the United States. This is the most serious attack on U.S. soil that's happened since the Civil War, which of course was something completely different. Here on the front edge of the 21st century, and it's a good thing we held off on the confirmation, because we now are able to report with confidence that Trade Center Building 7 was that building that collapsed. Not Trade Center Building 5. Now, Trade Center Building 5, keep in mind 7 buildings in the World Trade Center, 2 twin towers, they collapsed early this morning after being hit by planes. Then this afternoon we were told buildings 5 and 7 were in danger of collapsing. Building 7 of the New York Trade Center, a large building, in most other cities would be one of the largest buildings in town probably. Trade Center Building 7 has collapsed. CBS News correspondent and 60 Minutes 2 correspondent Scott Pelley is on the scene. Scott.
Dan, we were literally at the base of building number 7 about an hour or so ago with a number of New York City firefighters and police officers. At that time, the building was fully involved in flame. There were large panes of glass crashing down into the street. And at that moment, the firefighters told us that there was a good chance that building number 7 was going to collapse. That appears to be what has happened now. I don't know exactly how many stories the building is, Dan, but standing at the base of it, watching it burn about an hour ago, it looked to be something on the order of 50, 60 stories, as you said, a very, very large office building. And I don't know whether they were able to evacuate all of the emergency personnel before the collapse, but I can tell you that an hour ago, there were a number of firefighters and police officers in the area. They were watching building number 7 burn because there was frankly nothing they could do about it. The inferno was huge. So much of the building was collapsing into the street bit by bit that they were unable to do anything with it. and now it seems that building number 7 has finally collapsed, at least the third building to fall in the World Trade Center today.
Scott Pelley in Lower Manhattan. I don't believe Scott Pelley hears me, but Scott, on the off chance you do we know anything about Trade Center Building 5, which was reported near collapse?
Dan, I don't know, but when we were down about a block from the base of the World Trade Center towers about an hour ago. And there was a great deal of concern at that time from the firemen that building number 7 was going to collapse, building number 5 was in danger of collapsing, and there is so little they can do to try to fight the fires in these buildings because the fires are so massive. And so much of the buildings continue to fall into the street. When you're down there, Dan, you hear smaller secondary explosions going off every 15 or 20 minutes. And so it is an extremely dangerous place to be. Heavy, dense, black smoke choking the firefighters down there. Very little they can do to save these buildings. We don't know what the condition of building number 5 is at this moment.
Scott Pelley, and we're told Associated Press quotes authorities as saying that building 7, the one you just saw collapse on videotape there, and this has happened within the last few minutes, that we're told that the building had been evacuated. Sir, you know the World Trade Center complex. What was building 7? Do you know?
It was the Salomon Smith Barney.
Salomon Smith Barney. Say again.
It was built for Salomon Smith Barney.
So Salomon Brothers and Smith Barney were in that building, headquartered there.
Yes.
But I want to emphasize that we're told that the building had been evacuated because it was in danger of collapsing in some time.
I don't know.
And in building 5, which is reported on...
This is Morgan Stanley building as well.
And you work in Morgan Stanley again.
Building 5 is the operation for Morgan
Thank you very much. And we get back to the point which has been made earlier in the day, repeated here, that the terrorists